Hi everyone. I I'm making this video because I have some things to say, and I always make these videos with no makeup on. Oh well. Okay, so I'm going to discuss a lot of things real quickly if I can. And basically, I'm just going to come right out with it that this world is not on your side. And I'm not some conspiracy theorist. I go by the experiences I've had and my conversations with God and other people, but I'm not some nutcase, and I can prove 98% of what I say. And um, while we're at it, right there, that's all I'm going to do. Look at the marks that keep coming up, but whatever. And I had so many people, oh yeah, and the white scars from where it just bit and blood gushed out. And that was a long time ago, but I've learned a lot since then. It's time to tell the truth. So, like I said, the world is not on your side, and frankly, I've been made silent. People trying to convince me that, number one, I'm too ugly to be doing this, and that people won't listen because I don't have a business or a platform or something to stand on. But oh well, I look like this because I was tortured to the point of death. I look like this because I am MK Ultra from birth. They did all to make me silent, but the pain and the trauma cannot be hidden anymore. And I know there's more like me in a lot of ways. Some people call this world a matrix. I tend to believe that because I've seen glitches that are not possible unless that's the case. But most of my life would be something some would consider impossible unless you were there with me. And thank God there's living witnesses to most of the bizarre stuff that's happened to me. So you call me ugly, you call me fat, you don't know about the swelling from the toxins, you know nothing if you're going to make fun of somebody. And that kind of shows where your heart's at if you do that. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I'm going to start from the beginning. I was adopted, and there's a lot of people that don't know that. But when my birth mother kept taking me back, and she wanted me with her for one more Christmas, so I went there. And when I came back, I was real sick. I smelled like smoke, and I was really, really sick from the get-go. But the last time that my adopted parents came to pick me up to take me home with them, um, their brand new car engine blew up on the way to get me. 6 months later, our house burnt down to the ground. And from then on, I was sick. I had 5 spinal taps. My mom had to hear me screaming every time. I had sepsis in my bloodstream. I never got along with my adopted mother. We've always had issues and fights, and it was like a setup. And frankly, from a very early age, I always wanted to meet my birth mother. I don't know why. I've known other adopted children, and they were just completely completely satisfied with their situation. They didn't want to know their birth family, nothing. Well, I wasn't like that. I wanted to know my birth mother and, know why she gave me away. And, I knew some things because my Ruby, my mother, told me, but she always did it in a way like when she'd get angry at me and say, well, if your mother wasn't on drugs, blah, blah, blah. It was used as a tool to hurt me when somebody got mad. But anyway, in 1997, I begged my dad. I begged him, you have to go find her now, please. And knowing now what I know about my father, I don't know if he actually even went to look for her, but he said he did. And couldn't find her. I found out years later when I did find my biological family, I found out that she had died that exact month and year that I told, was so adamant, like, you have to find her now. And I finally found my biological family. I think I was 15. Yeah, I was 15. And I met them at a restaurant. I have a picture of it. And my little brother, Josh, came along, and one of my uncles, and my grandfather came to this restaurant to meet us. And it was awesome. And they kept telling me how much I look like my mother. And I ended up going to New York for a week with them, and it was really cool. And my aunt, I got to meet my aunt, and Ruby, my adopted mother, she threw me this. She surprised me, telling me I was going to this church to hear some people I know who sing. And I walk in, and there sits everybody I've ever known. Uh, and they threw this huge graduation party for me. And my mom, as a surprise, found my biological grandmother on my mother's side, and she flew her in from Florida to meet me. It was really special. Anyhow, God, I can't hardly get over the way I look right now. It's not, I look bigger than I am here, and I don't have to feel bad about the teeth, though, because that was torture. That was not my fault, and I have to remember that. Anyways, my grandfather has technically disowned me, if you want to put it that way. He won't talk to me. None of my family will talk to me. He said that I'm, quote, too much like my mother, which is totally unfair because I didn't get to meet her. And when I found out that she had died, it kind of destroyed a part of me, and I really spiraled down after that for years. Anyway, so fast forward a little bit. My parents always fought, but it got worse and worse and worse. And I've always been so sensitive since I was born. I had this one part of me has this unconditional love that just gives and gives and gives and gives. And so every word, every look, every tone of voice pierced me, either for good or bad. And I couldn't help it. I never was taught how to block it. And so I absorbed everybody's pain on top of my own my whole life. And not good. Then I found out that my dad was cheating on my mother. And I told her about it. She didn't believe me at first. And I went to great lengths to get her the evidence. And then he finally admitted it. And my mom did nothing. And she left for 2 months and left. And my dad took that opportunity to go to New York to be with his girlfriend, who now lives here about 10 minutes away. Ain't that cool? But anyway, so they left me there in this place, a mile down the road from here. They left me there all by myself. I was 16, but I was very sheltered my whole life. I grew up around Amish people. I was homeschooled. I graduated early, all that. And my dad and mom both just left me there. So it was really scary, and I was being targeted, but I didn't know it. So a lot of creepy stuff happened, and I thought a demon was attacking me. Like, I didn't realize, I didn't know. And I mean, I can recall back to when I was 16 or so, hearing, like, I'd be on the phone with somebody and hear that click, 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 click noise, and that was on a landline. And I just laughed about it, like, F you, government. Like, I didn't, I wasn't, I didn't know what I know now. And in some ways I wish I didn't know. But anyway, so anyway, they left me there, and I had been talking to somebody named Lorraine, who I call my godmother, even after everything we've been through. And she was like a mentor to me, and she offered me a safe place to come in Michigan, so I could get away from the situation, because A, I was alone, and B, when they were there, they were fighting like cats and dogs, and I've actually had to get in between them and push them apart. And I dealt with a lot of abuse when I was a kid from them and other people, but people thought I was too dark, too different. They didn't want to be around me, and I was weird, and I was just different. Ever since I was 5 years old, I told you I could touch people, take their pain away. I could pick up my own dad. Like, MK Ultra has the Super Soldier program, and a lot of things can get downloaded into your brain that are segmented in a part of you. Like, we're all shattered into parts. So when we have trauma, our soul gets fragmented like pieces of glass. And each piece is a part of us, is little us's, but they all have their own personality. Some of them have their own names. It's insane. But I hate that word. Insane and crazy are two words. Don't use it around me because I'll flip. But I'm working on that. But so anyhow, Lorraine offered me a place to come. It was just her and her husband in this apartment in Michigan, and I was overjoyed. And it was the first time I was away from my family by myself. And of course, the first place I go is Detroit, Michigan. Worst mistake of my life was going there. Worst mistake of my life. So I go there and I get out the bus station and Lorraine is there and we got to meet, and she was so excited she locked her keys in the car. But anyway, things were different for me then. People were attracted to me, like, because of my, I don't know how to explain it. It was like I don't know why. People just, like, I was coming out of the bus station and Lorraine will tell you these two guys were following me, like, you forgot your pen, you forgot your pen. And they chased me the whole way through the bus station just to give me my pen back. And anyway, so I went and stayed with them, and I had a lot happen in between there. But when I went and stayed with them, I can't believe I'm going to say this live because there's a chance he might see it. But there's somebody, her husband, I don't like to say, it's not, he took advantage of me for like 11 years off and on. And it was sexual stuff. And it's a very long story, but it's something I never should have had to go through. And woo. Anyway, so that was bad. Really, really bad. And in between there, when I was 16, I did do drugs. And I admit that. And I don't do them now, but that was then, and this is now. It was 15. I don't know. Anyway, I got into that for a little while, but the biggest issue of my life at that point with God was the fact that ever since I was a kid, my relationships primarily been with women, and I grew up Pentecostal Christian, and that's a sin, and maybe it is, but I didn't ask for it. As a matter of fact, I got on my face on the kitchen floor and I begged God to take this away from me, and I begged him to tell me why it was wrong. And the only answer I ever got from him was nothing about the relationship. It was return to your first love. And I remembered when I was younger and I loved Jesus. Like, I loved him so much, and that was my life. And I don't know, a lot happened after that. There's bad people everywhere, but Detroit is kind of capital city for perpetrating, for it's a whole different, there's different dimensions, and they try to it's a long story. I was put through some type of programming where these people, they were like, honestly, I was hanging around bad people. They were drug dealers, they were not good people, and some of them, and they put me through these situations where, how do I put this? I don't care how I sound to you, because like I said, I can prove 98% of what I say. And this is something I can't actually prove, at least not right now, but I would stand someplace and you'd hear these snapping noises, and all of a sudden I'd have marks like this, like, appear, and there'd be blood. And like the one girl was standing next to me, she's like, oh, you're getting bit bad. Okay. So, and the air would get thick, and it was some sort of quantum dimensional shit they were doing, and it was technology, witchcraft. It was really bad. Oh, I just got deja vu, like, right now. Holy crap. Okay, so I drank a lot, but it was because of my teeth. I had problems with my teeth. I didn't realize it, but I was being tortured, and there's a spot that's connected to your central nervous system, and it was hit hard every night at 8 o'clock. My teeth would start hurting until about 3 o'clock in the morning, and all I could do was scream and pace. I would pace the floor because it hurts so much. You literally start, when your teeth hurt to a certain extent, there's a pain level that you can reach. It's like white hot pain, and it literally is like you're losing your mind. Like you can't remember your name, and you need like the cold, the light, any sound. I mean, you have to sit in darkness. It was horrendous, and it was every single night, and I suffered for 10 years like that. But it got to the point that I went to probably 10 different dentists and asked them, please take these out, please take these teeth out, please take these teeth. They wouldn't do it. I went to some of the best dentists in Michigan, supposedly. Even the University of Michigan had places set up where dentists, and they wouldn't do it. They waited till there was no hope whatsoever, and then they took them out. 14 teeth in 28 hours. 14 teeth. Even Lorraine, who's never drank in her life, when I came out of the dentist, I'm like this, she had like 2 shots of whiskey for me waiting, because I mean, I couldn't do anything else. And when they wouldn't take the teeth out for those years, I started drinking, because and it's not an excuse, okay, but I went to so many dentists. I tried to get help. And then her cousin is a dentist, and I went to him. He took a scan of my teeth, and he took one look at it, and he said, you must be in so much pain, enormous pain. And I said, finally, thank you. And his solution was put me on pain meds for 2 years. So then you start getting addicted to the Vicodin. Ibuprofen actually is what it is. It has ibuprofen instead of Tylenol. And when he almost lost his license because he was prescribing me so much, so I quit taking them, I turned to drinking, because nobody would still take my teeth out. And you can't sit in that level of pain for days on end. I mean, my God. So I started drinking vodka, and after about 5 years, I had an accumulation of these vodka bottles, and not this room, but it scared me when I realized how much I had drank, and my liver was fine according to them. So praise God. I tried to kill myself when I was 15, was the first time. I tried 17 times after that. And every single time, and I mean, I'm not trying piddly little attention attempts. Like, there's some people who I'm going to kill myself, they say, and then they, go wait for help to arrive. That wasn't me. I didn't tell anybody except one time. But 17 times over a period of 15 years, nothing worked. Nothing. I kept waking up. And I'm grateful now. Oh, I'm kind of grateful now, but I'm trying to be grateful now. I would never do something like that again. Don't worry. But, oh boy. And in between those times, her husband was, during the times when I was really addicted to that stuff, he would wait until I got real, just put me in a vulnerable position. And then he basically gave me, full disclosure, he waited until I was completely desperate, and then he had me do something with him and gave me a lot of money. I know what that makes me, okay? But I was really young, really naive, so naive. I trusted everybody. I was so trusting. Like, I didn't, like, because I have a loving heart, for some reason, I thought everybody I seen had a loving heart. Like, it never occurred to me, these people are trying to hurt you. Whatever. It didn't occur to me until it was too late. And people would say that I was gullible, so I got what I deserved. Oh, that'll teach her. That'll learn her. I've heard them say it. They talk about you like you're not even there. And that sucked. Okay, so I really think that they put something in vaccinations to make people's gender itself and gender preferences be changed. Because I didn't ask to be, some people, I don't call myself bi or lesbian or straight. It's not like that. I am who I am, and I fall in love with the soul, not the face. It's not my problem what they're wearing on the outside. But at the same time, now I'm completely, I don't care about that stuff. But I want to switch topics for a minute and ask you a question, and that is this: what do you base like calling somebody crazy when they say, oh, you need mental help. What do you base that on? Well, I can tell you it's the world psychology system. And do you realize all the universities, anything that says university, it's funded by the Illuminati, and you can research that for yourself. And they're run by, shadow government, whatever. Point is, anyone can go to school and do the courses and get the degree. Then they automatically, in our minds, become the professionals. Leave it to the professionals. What? Because a piece of paper says they're a professional. That means they're above our knowledge, above all that we know? I don't think so, Tim. Get real. Okay, so the Christians, those who claim to know God, are always the first in line to say to somebody, you need to get mental help. Why? You tell others not to be of this world. When you get your birth certificate and social security number, that is your slave contract. And you have a straw man account created. I don't care if you think, go look it up yourself. I've done years of research for everything I say. And sorry, but you're hooked for life unless you do something about it. I mean, you can't tell somebody to be in the world but not of it, and then use every single system they set up for not only your advantage and upward progression and success in life, but you use this world system to judge other people by it. Because that's just the way it's done. Or, there's boxes like of what's normal and abnormal and crazy and insane, but who made those boxes? And why do we live by them? You live by what's in here. Over half the people that are in mental wards don't belong there. Bothers me a lot. You judge the people, stop it. You can't have it both ways. I had to learn that the hard way. And if I had the money to do it, I would opt out of all of this, everything. I'm sorry that this world is hurtful, but all they do is tell you steps that are created by the enemy to get mental wellness. They have to pay big money to torture us this way, and yet we sit here basically destitute. I'm struggling to get a Christmas gift for my son. That breaks my heart. You have no idea what it takes to make it through a day with a monster in your body, in your mouth. Yes, this mouth that's so ugly. Being slowly eaten alive and taken over at the same time is indescribable torture. This world is not on our side. You're being lied to. Please wake up. And I didn't forget about the title of this, which is the Fallen Angel title. I have a story to tell you. In 2017, I was being tormented so bad. Like, I was at a place where there was other people. I was living there. And this woman and I had made a pot of coffee. We turned around to get something off the table, turned back around, boom, half the pot of coffee's gone. How do you explain that? Stuff like that would happen all the time. You'd sit something down, look back, it's gone. Whatever. So I was being tormented greatly by the program, and I went into my room with hardwood floor with my Bible, which I know has been tampered with, but whatever. I took my Bible, I got down on my knees, and I said, God, I don't know what to believe anymore. Father, I'm not getting up from here until you tell me the truth. And I sat there for 7 hours, and I'm not making it up. And what happened was, I heard it again about return to your first love. So I went to that passage of scripture, which I'm going to do right now. Revelation 2. Don't you love screen loading time? All right. I got to find it. Aha. Nevertheless, I have this against you, that you have left your first love. Okay? So when it talked about leaving up my first love, then I heard, read the rest of it. Okay, so I went and read the rest of the verse, and it says, remember, therefore, from where you have fallen. Repent and do the first works, or else I will come to you quickly and remove your lampstand unless you repent. But it said, remember, therefore, from where you have fallen. And I stopped there, and I was like, okay. And I got the... Basically, I'm just going to skip to the end. 7 hours later, I got up with the impression that we were the fallen angels. And I thought I was nuts, too. I went outside on the porch and it was storming, and I said, okay, God, you have my fear. I'm scared. I said, can I see your love now? And I'm not, this is a real story. I seen like this purple hole in the sky as a crack of thunder happened. It was like this purple portal is what I call it. Like I seen it, and this flash of lightning came out, but it didn't come down straight like lightning does. It came right at my head. And so of course I was on my knees again, and it was just, I couldn't believe what I had seen. And I only told one person about that in 3 years. I told Lorraine about what if we were the fallen angels, and I explained what had happened. And she just said, oh, that would be interesting. I mean, she didn't say anything other than that. Okay, well, September 23rd, 2017, I was in the driveway, and I saw this huge pattern in the sky, like it looked like diamonds to me. I don't know what it was doing, but it was huge, and it hovered right over me where I was at in this driveway. And Lorraine was there again. She saw it, and I don't know if you guys know about the day resets, but the day reset itself. And some people know it happens, some people don't. And what happens is those people think it's the next day, and they lose the memory of everything that happened the previous day, so you can do it all over again. It's really messed up, but the resets are happening more and more, and the big one is coming. It's this pole shift, when this ends. So anywho, so that's that. And a human, for example, a hue is an angle of light in a man. Light, that angle of light is an angel. And then I saw 3 years later, just a couple days ago, this man named Jonathan Kleck, K-L-E-C-K. Look him up. He has a video called Speak the Truth, Even If Your Voice Shakes. And that impacted me, just the title of it. So I watched it, and guess what? Within the first hour, he talks about how we're the fallen angels, and we got sent here. This is a prison planet. And think about one last thing. You can call me nuts. I don't really care. But my truth will be spoken today. I haven't even told the half of it, and it's already 27 minutes, so I'm going to cut this short. But I'm telling you, it talks about them being chained in darkness. Well, think about something. It's dark under our skin. Okay? What is a chain? What is our DNA? It is a double helix, which is a chain. I'm not convinced that God is the one that created this flesh we're in. In fact, I know he didn't. And the thing is, there is a creator that loves us and loves us so much. But we are not in the timeline we think we are. And there are those parts I was talking about are scattered all over the place. And people can use your parts who know how to practice witchcraft and know how to practice the dark arts. They can take those parts and like bury them. If you're in another state, apart and something happened, like somebody will hurt your feelings, even a stranger, and that's another story. But a piece of you can get left there in that state, like your emotion can get left wherever you got hurt. And if my dad comes in, I'm sorry. Anyway, so when that piece gets taken, they can use it because it has your energy. They can use it against you. They can use it against other people. We have a star that we're supposed to connect with. That's actually in the Bible. I mean, you have to look for the truth. I literally said to God, strip me of everything I've ever known and tell me the truth. And I'm sorry, but I was seeking him, so I really don't think it's the devil that answered. I am going to go, but I hope that, just please wake up. All you have to do, if you really want the truth, is do what I did. Get alone, Bible or not, and say, Creator, Father God, whatever you say, Yahushua, Yahuwah, Jesus, Yahweh, whatever it is that you Father, call him. Strip me of everything I've ever known and believed, and show me the truth. It says in the Bible to ask the Father to lead you into all truth every day. Why do you think it says every day? Because we get thrown around in different dimensions. We get thrown around. Don't you realize the alternate Earths and stuff, they look just like this. That's where there's something called the jinn come in, which is lookalikes. That happened to me. They will take the person that you know and replace them with somebody who looks just like them. And they'll usually only do it with somebody you don't know very well. Because if it's somebody you do know, that would be kind of obvious. Like with Patty, for example, I saw, they did it with her, but that's a whole long thing. I could talk for hours about that stuff and actually explain to you the quantum physics of it. And I would prove to you what it is that, how they do that stuff. It's incredible. But, they hijacked our abilities. Those things they're doing, they are ours. They're the true children of light. They are our abilities. We should be doing those things, but using it for good. And the Christian churches don't teach about this, don't do nothing, because then they would lose their money and their patrons, or whatever you want to call it. And they don't teach about it. Oh, crystals are bad. Oh, portals are evil. Oh, you shouldn't go into the courts of heaven. Oh, you shouldn't talk about technology and witchcraft being mixed together and hurting people. There's going to come a retribution day for every single person who has been involved in torturing me, in torturing you. And you may think that you're eliminated. No. Absolved. No. Shoot, I can't think of the word. You may think that you're not, that it doesn't apply to you. Whatever word belongs there. It doesn't apply to you. But it does. And I see it on every person that I meet, and it's so sad because they don't realize they're being taken over. And you don't realize it until it's too late. For me, something literally exploded in my gut. Well, that was a wake-up call. Like this black liquid went 10 different directions. All right, I gotta go. I'm over half an hour, and I pray that somebody looks at this and needs it, because that's why I do this. I love you. Mwah.